Ladies and gentlemen, this is Envoy of Kairos, back for a new Speedpaint, and this one is my first commissioned Speedpaint. So this is definitely something new for me. Well, not quite new. I actually did commissions back when I was about 15, 16 for a very short time over on DeviantArt, with an account that has since been closed down. But I figured I'd give it a shot again. So, for my first commission, a fellow Digimon fan of mine over on Miss Finefeather's server, somebody those of you there would know as KillerQueen, decided to commission me for a piece for an original Digimon they had a concept for and could never fully realize. Which I perfectly understand. When you're trying to design a Digimon, there's a lot of factors to keep in mind. Similarities to other Digimon, getting a good pose, making them sufficiently intimidating for their level. So, when they decided to task me with an ultimate level, that had me interested. I knew I was capable of handling enough detail to make a suitable ultimate. If I wanted to, I could probably make something detailed enough for one of the crazier X Digimon, but that probably would have taken me about 24 hours. But for this one, I think total it came to about 4.5. Overall, it was a shorter piece, and frankly, with how much I had been overworking myself with all the recent uploads, I kinda needed that. But that's not to say I didn't put a good deal of effort into it regardless. So, the mon he wanted me to produce was called CastleKnightmon. And this guy, oh, I just love the inspiration behind him. Knightmon itself was always a great mon, and I always kind of agreed that it needed a little more. Yeah, it's got some good evolutions, but most of them are very drastically different. And the idea here was to make something that was a little more direct of an evolution, that would be able to slip into a role in a new order of royal knights, spearheaded by Jessamon, who of course would decide to create a whole new order of knights now that he's taken over Alphamon's position as leader. As such, they sort of wanted this as a successor to Lord Knightmon or Crusadermon. So, CastleKnightmon is very large, very bulky. He is actually big enough to be a small castle. And there's not many Digimon of that scale out there just yet. I'd say two of the only ones that can rival or surpass his size would probably be Jumbo Gamemon and, of course, Eldoradimon. I don't think there's any Digimon larger than Eldoradimon right now. Of course, its scale isn't the only thing that CastleKnightmon has going for it. For one, there's the titanic axe it wields. Originally, KillerQueen didn't really have much of an idea for a name for the axe itself or any attacks using it. So I decided to propose the idea of naming it after the Norse god Forseti, who's actually one of Tyr's brothers and a guardian deity who happens to wield a golden axe. Basically, they were an arbiter. Any territory they decided to take would be a no-kill zone. I feel like that is a pretty good fit for, a castle knight. They're there solely to protect. More so, the whole idea of protection ties into the fact that, although it's not really depicted here, that axe is actually a modular weapon. The odd shape of the axe head is due to the fact that I initially designed it to be a combination of a modular mace and shield. So the head of the axe would actually transform into the shield itself, much like the Crest of Hope and Blazoned shield that regular Knightmon actually wields. And then, of course, the handle of it is extended from what's normally a mace, that also has a headpiece themed after the Crest of Hope. And then, of course, there's the armor design itself. I did, of course, have to make them look largely like, well, a walking castle. And I think I managed that quite well. But I also felt I needed to build some potential weaponry into it, hence the forearms. Yes, they are cannons. Very, very big medieval cannons. I just felt like that was a pretty fitting choice. You can't really see the openings to them too well with these poses due to the downwards facing right arm and axe wielding left arm, but they're there if you look closely. Of course, that also means that one of his attacks will be a fairly large salvo of raw iron cannonballs. So you can expect this guy to be a pretty heavy hitter. And he does have ranged options, but the ammo doesn't go that far. And then, of course, there's the durability of the armor itself to consider. And although it looks like stone, every brick here, every band of bracing, it's all different colors of chrome digizoid. This guy is hands down one of the tankiest and most durable Digimon ever created. And in order to be a proper guardian and protector among the Royal Knights, it's definitely necessary. I've actually considered that potentially he could be largely composed of a new kind of chrome digizoid called platinum, one of the only forms more pure than gold. But then there's the real kicker. He is, of course, a Royal Knight. So I had to give him some techniques that were relevant to the Royal Knights. And I came up with the idea of the Call of Camelot, which basically uses the gate in his chest as a reverse of the Gate of Destiny that Magna Angemon commonly uses. Basically, he'll use it to conjure powerful warriors from his own chest. Of course, that including other Royal Knights. So although he's far from the heaviest hitter, having him on your side is a good way to make sure that you do get them rather quickly. As for the design aspects besides the general castle and making sure to represent the Crest of Hope in his weaponry, the sigil on his chest plate and heading down into the drawbridge loincloth is a larger scaled and blockier version of the very same sigil on regular Knightmon's chest plate. Of course, the 3 points at the top of it are then extended to his helmet, creating the unique head crest up there. Overall, I knew I had to work with that symbol, but I wanted to do something unique with it. And I feel like splitting it up between those elements and making it so much larger actually fit quite well, especially considering the upward-facing feathers on the original symbol fit being built into the, I'm actually forgetting what those are called. Balustrades, maybe? Still, being built into the upper portions of the castle structure itself. Overall, I feel like the pieces mesh together quite well, and the only thing that really gave me any trouble was figuring out the legs, but then I remembered that regular Knightmon had that chainmail shawl, or skirt, whatever you call it. Essentially, I knew I could repurpose that chainmail and use it on a larger scale, and combined with the drawbridge, it solved that rather quickly. The end result is something I'm actually quite proud of. I've been wondering how I was going to handle designing my own ultimate level Digimon later, although those are much more organic designs. And, you know, I'd say this turned out pretty great. KillerQueen was incredibly satisfied with it. I think I should be able to handle the 5 ultimates I've already got on my plate with my original lines. Quite well. And you can expect even more of them to pop up later of my own design. But if you're looking to get some of my designs on your collection, I'm wide open for commissions as the time this goes up. I'm thinking I'll hold about 5 slots at a time, and the commission prices are currently $15 an hour, with an optional $10 fee to also get your own Speedpaint video made for it. So, if you feel like that, just hit me up in Discord. The link to my server is right below here. But for now, I think I'll wrap this up so I can turn this video over to KillerQueen and he can fully enjoy it. Thanks for the incredible idea. I'm actually very glad you gave me the opportunity to work on this one. So, this is Envoy of Kairos, signing out. And I hope to hear from more of you soon for a few more commissions like this. Later.